How did learning sign language to surprise my deaf girlfriend expose her darkest secret? My girlfriend, Natasha, told me about being deaf the second time we met, sitting across from each other at a coffee shop with her phone between us for the speech-to-text app. She explained she'd lost her hearing at age 7 from meningitis and learned to lip-read so well that most people never realized she was deaf until conversations got complicated. She showed me how the app worked, speaking clearly while watching my lips, and I typed responses until I got better at facing her directly when I talked. The whole thing felt natural after the first awkward 10 minutes, and by our third date, I'd mostly forgotten about the hearing part because she was so good at navigating the hearing world. 3 months into dating, I met her family at a big Sunday dinner at her parents' house in Maryland. Her mom, Linda, her dad, Gregory, her older brother, Callum, and her younger sister, Iris, were all deaf, the whole family communicating in this beautiful flowing sign language I couldn't understand at all. They were patient with me, writing notes on a whiteboard and typing on phones, but I felt completely left out watching them sign to each other across the dinner table. Natasha translated some things for me, but I could tell she was exhausted by the end of the night from bouncing between 2 languages. On the drive home, she apologized for how tiring the dinner must have been for me, and I told her honestly it wasn't tiring, just frustrating that I couldn't be part of the conversations happening right in front of me. That night, I started researching ASL classes in our city and found a community college program that met Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. The instructor was a CODA, which I learned meant Child of Deaf Adults, and she'd grown up signing before she could speak English. I enrolled without telling Natasha because I wanted it to be a surprise, imagining her face when I suddenly started signing at the next family dinner. The first class was humbling because my hands felt clumsy and stupid trying to form the shapes, and my brain couldn't process the grammar, which was completely different from English. But I kept showing up, practicing alphabet fingerspelling during my commute, and watching ASL videos on YouTube before bed. Wednesday evenings became my secret project, telling Natasha I had a work thing or plans with friends while actually sitting in a classroom learning to sign colors and animals and basic phrases. After 6 weeks, I could introduce myself and ask simple questions, my hands still moving too slowly, but at least forming recognizable signs. My instructor, Delilah, was encouraging but honest, telling me it would take years to become truly fluent, but that Natasha would appreciate the effort even at my beginner level. I started watching deaf YouTubers and following deaf TikTok creators, absorbing not just the language but the culture and the community that came with it. By month 3, I could follow simple conversations if people signed slowly, though my receptive skills were way better than my expressive ones. My hands still fumbled when I tried to sign, but I could understand maybe 60% of what I saw if I focused hard. Delilah suggested I start attending deaf events to practice in real situations, so I found a deaf coffee chat that met Friday mornings at a cafe downtown. I showed up terrified the first time, ordered my coffee and fumbling signs, and sat in the corner watching deaf people sign to each other with this casual fluency I desperately wanted. A guy around my age named Isaiah noticed me struggling and came over, asking in slow signs if I was learning ASL. I signed back that my girlfriend was deaf, and I wanted to surprise her, and he smiled and introduced me to his friends. They were patient with my terrible signing, correcting my hand shapes and teaching me slang that Delilah never covered in class. Every Friday morning, I'd show up and spend an hour immersed in sign language, my brain exhausted but happy by the end. Natasha asked once why I was so tired on Friday mornings, and I blamed it on bad sleep, while internally feeling